Hey guys, it's Paul back again with another quick video and tour of my new Mini SkyHunter. Well, it's not really new, I just did some new modifications to it. So what you can probably see from the get-go is this thing's got two motors and no motor in the back. I took off the single pusher motor and I installed two Emax Pro Series 2810 brushless motors with HQ 8x5 props, spinning inward, so the props will spin this way. And I'm using the same 3D printed nacelles, these guys, as I did on the Adam RC Dolphin twin motor build, and I got those from Jeff Does This. I will put a link in the description to those 3D printed parts, but they fit perfectly on these wings. And so what I did was I measured out 10 inches from the center line of the wing mount. This is exactly 10 inches, and I can fit upwards of a 10-inch prop. And I think eventually I want to test with these 8x5s. I haven't flown it yet. But for even more efficiency and thrust, I think going up to a 9x4.5, 9x5, maybe 9x6 would just help with the launches, because she's decently heavy. I mean, depending on the battery, we're looking anywhere from 1.5 kilos to 1.65, 1.7 if I'm using a big lipo. So I think the more disk space and area will help, especially with launches. But this is all about testing, so we'll find out. But we're going to start off with the 8x5s, see how that goes. Let's take a quick peek under the wing and I'll show you what I did there. It's pretty similar to what I did on the Dolphin, but so underneath each nacelle there is a little shelf here for the ESC to fit in, and I just dug out a few channels. Wish I could redo it. I could probably fix some things because it doesn't look too pretty, but I've just got the power wires, ground signal, and then the green is the telemetry from the ESC, because I think it's important to be able to see RPM, and iNav does not support bidirectional D-shot, so Blue Jay or BL Heli S ESCs don't really work in that sense for telemetry, but I like to see what my motor RPM is. So I just ran my wires to the fuselage. I secured connectors on the side of the fuselage from the inside with jumper cables from the flight controller, and then this way I can take everything off. Take the wing mount off, because with the design of this airframe you have to be able to take the wings off to get to the flight controller. It's kind of a pain in the butt. I wish there was a quick access method. You could probably make one, but this was my solution to adding twin motors and still making it so you can take the wings off and on when needed. So the other side, pretty much a mirror image of the right side. And then, so the ESCs I've gotten here, I can't pull them out for you because they are in there. They are those HGLRC BL Heli 32 90 amp ESCs, and these things are only $30, so it's way overkill. But for the price, I mean, I could have put a 40 amp Blue Jay ESC in there with no telemetry or anything like that for, I mean, those are still 25, somewhere $35. So I figure for the price, I know it sounds crazy and overkill, but for the price, these ESCs just make sense. They're beefy, they stay cool. They've got an aluminum heatsink around them, so I just go with them. Yeah, so I'll flip it back over. On the nose, I've got a MS4525 airspeed sensor and pitot tube. It got a little crooked. It's not quite flush, but it's maybe a couple degrees off. It should be okay. It just moved. It hard to get it perfectly straight, especially when the epoxy and glue was drying. It just shifted a little bit. I can't really move it back, but it should be okay. And then up on top, I got the DJI O4 Pro VTX, two different size antennas, one for a little more range, one for a little closer range. This is actually the same gimbal mount for the Atom RC Swordfish. Only difference is I took out the original pan tilt mechanism and I put in a 270 degree servo that can handle 6 volts because the original servos could only handle 5, and I've got my servos set for, or the servo rail set for 6 volts. So you can guess what happened. I fried one of the servos in the pan tilt gimbal. So now I just have pan, which is all I really used anyway, and it works great. I can pan the camera over, check on the motors. It's actually pretty cool, especially when you're loitering, to have your camera facing in the direction of your loiter, so you can kind of focus on one spot as you're circling. It's pretty cool. And then I got the VTX up on some standoffs just to get some extra airflow around it. It's always going to be nice and cool, especially when you're flying. Yeah, so that's the edits I've done on the camera stuff. Then I've got two 915 ELRS antennas going, 90 degrees from each other. For hopefully I can get the best range with that setup. I'm sure I could put the antennas in a better situation. And then the other thing I did was I added rudder servos to the back. So I really kind of jerry-rigged this up. Mini SkyHunter, they don't give you a lot of room to put these rudder servos in, nor do they give you the equipment to do it. So I had some of the same servos I use in the other control surfaces, these Emax 12-gram digital servos. Basically what I did was I cut out the whole, they do give you a little cutout area on the rudders, vertical stabilizers. and at first I was gonna cut shallow and kind of like place the servo in like this so it's not all the way through, and just kind of have it sitting in the pocket, but there's not enough thickness to these stabilizers and rudders, so I just cut all the way through, and I've got it kind of in between the stabilizers. So I think that's how they intended to do it. I'm not exactly sure. I don't see too many videos on this. And then I just kind of had to cut my own length control linkage rods, and I had some extra connectors here that I tried to screw together, but I just said screw it. I'm just gonna glue it together, and they work. It's pretty cool. So I haven't flown this guy yet with rudders on it before, so it'll be interesting to see how it performs. And the last little modification I did, you might be able to see, if you can see, it looks kind of shiny on the surface. Yeah, maybe you can see it there. I put some Minwax polyacrylic on for protection on the SkyHunter foam all around, and it's just some polyurethane, and it just gives it, the foam, a little more strength without any weight, and protect from like scratches, bumps, dings from landing, transport in your car. Way lighter than putting like a thin coat of epoxy around places. I did put a thin coat of epoxy around the nose here, this nose area, because this part, especially where I fly in a lot of unmanicured, rough landscape, and so this area in here can take a lot of stress, and so a little epoxy around the nose area just to protect it from any cracks, damages, things like that. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I will give you guys a quick demo of what the rudder servos look like. Alright, I got a battery installed. I'll show you the rudder servo action now. So that's pretty cool. And then I did a little mix with my ailerons in iNav. So when I go right aileron, I will give about 15%, 10 to 15% rudder. So you can see the rudders just move very slightly when I go right aileron, left aileron. So just a little bit of rudder aileron mix in there. It's not much, but you don't need a lot. All right. Cool. Well, thanks for checking it out with me. Appreciate you, and I'll catch you on the next one.